Hey guys, Sauniche here, some Heroes of the Storm action for you. This is game 2 of the Titan Arena Finals between Tempo Storm and Cloud9 Maelstrom. Let's bring up our teams, do a quick introduction here. On the blue team, we have Tempo Storm, Arthalon playing Tyrande, Dreadnought playing Tassadar. Interesting switch right there, as Arthalon will typically play Tassadar. KO playing Vala, Soldier playing Diablo, and Glarung playing Kerrigan. And then on Maelstrom for the red team, we have Dunk Train playing Sergeant Hammer, Biceps playing Uther, iDream playing Rhaegar, K1 Pro playing Jaina, and King Caffeine playing ETC. So this is a pretty interesting combination of teams. We have a very, very support-heavy team from Maelstrom coming out. Double supports with Sergeant Hammer in the back line. Jaina as well has some pretty good range on her abilities. And ETC just to get in there and kind of pretty good self-sustain from a tank as far as all things are considered. Whereas for Tempo Storm here, we have Diablo and Kerrigan for the front line and backed up by Tyrande and Tassadar, who are more damaging supports and utility supports than straight up heals. They actually only have one heal, and it's very, very weak compared to Uther and Rhaegar. So we'll see how this ends up working out. Tempo Storm is going to need to blow everyone up very quickly and make sure that these fights do not elongate and do not spread out. They need to get in, get those kills off, and make sure that they capitalize on their strong engage that they do have. So we are moving into this game now. Both teams heading towards the middle of the map for the most part. Most likely on this map, we're going to see a 1-3 composition from both teams, just given the fact that there are Siege Giants here, and a Knight camp down here on the bottom. They're just way too strong to give up without a fight. On the other hand, however, looks like we will end up with more of a straight up run into each other here in the mid. There comes the Owl out, but Dunk Train stops that, and she did get the Ranger's Mark trait to help out with, to help her team increase that damage. Here's Glarung with the Countess Kerrigan skin there. You can see her flying around as a bat. That is amazing. And Dunk Train getting pulled out of position, but oh, no follow-up grasp means that that stun misses. And King Caffeine stuck up here versus Soldier in the top lane. Vala splitting off towards the bottom with KO doing that with that Vampire Hunter skin she has got going on. I think she would have a bit of a problem with Kerrigan being on her team with that Vampire skin. But now we have a... Oh, not really moving into a normal setup quite yet, where we have the 1-1-3 from both teams. Looks like we're going to have 4 Ren in the mid that is going to move back and forth. Oh, there's Dunk Train gets picked up right there, but the healing is just too good. No, Dunk Train gets greedy and dies. Oh, I'm not sure what that was about. That'll be first blood there to Tempo Storm. As once they've secured that first blood, they probably will fall back to their individual lanes at this point. We have kind of a warrior slap fest going on up here on the top lane with that Master ETC skin. I believe that's what that one is, versus the Black Diablo. Looks amazing. It looks like Biceps and K1 Pro securing the bottom lane. Mid is firmly pushed out by Tempo Storm, however. Thus, their Maelstrom won't be able to capitalize on owning both of these shrines. Soldier probably should get out of there. Lifts King Caffeine over his shoulder and puts him back on the shrine. And iDream is going straight for it, but he's not going to be able to get it in time as Tempo Storm takes that bottom shrine. And this is actually one of my favorite maps, just because you have stuff like this that happens all the time. The objective is not concentrated all in one spot, but it's actually spread out across the whole map. And I should mention that this is actually the second game of this Best of 5 series, and Maelstrom did win the first one. So Tempo Storm needs 3 to win, whereas Maelstrom only needs 2 to win. That was a little strange. It's like King Caffeine getting pushed off here. I don't know if you guys heard that background with Illidan's Darkness call going on. I'm not sure what that was about. There's King Caffeine being chased here. Glarung trying to catch up to him. And with Dreadnought right here, they might be able to make something happen. Oh no, iDream comes in with the heal, and now Dreadnought's got in a bad position, but uses his dimensional shift to get out. No problem right there. And there's Arthelon taking that top shrine back. So now nobody is an imminent threat to take a Dragon Knight. And if we take a look at how our talent builds are diversifying at this point, no one's going with a super, like, out of left field build. We've got Kerrigan taking Envenom, Jaina as well. Double healing wards to make up for that lack of actual active heals for Tempo Storm. Multi-shot build out of Vala. Maelstrom shells from Sergeant Hammer. So standard stuff all across the board. Both teams going for their siege giants on each respective side of the field right now. So far this game has been playing out completely standard. No big surprises. Either way, pretty evenly matched teams, 1-1. And there's that level 7 for Tempo Storm, just seconds ahead of Maelstrom right now. They'll have level 7 here any second. And take a look at our talents. Battle momentum from both Tyrande and Vala. There's Kerrigan jumping in. K1 Pro gets picked off by that heavy initiation. Those spikes coming out of the ground and stunning her out immediately. And Tempo Storm actually taking a 1-level lead, almost a full level lead here, and cleaning up those siege giants before they can do any damage. And now that that has gone down, they have their own siege giants just wailing on the fortifications here for Maelstrom. King Caffeine and Soldier not doing much up on the top lane. Bottom Knights coming out for Tempo Storm, using that little bit of map presence and lane control that they had to take those middle mercenaries. And both teams have their level 7s. And once again, we're just seeing pretty much standard Conjurer's Pursuit, Shield, Cleanse from Uther. Nothing too exciting from anyone here. Although Kerrigan does not get picked up a lot in competitive play, so it is nice to kind of see that happen. And also kind of see her build diversify a little bit here from some of the standard compositions we have. She's getting the grass, just increases that range by 20%. A lot of times I like to get the damage increase that she has at that level. So looks like Dreadnought may be a threat here to take a Dragon Knight, but not with Biceps and K1 Pro coming out. He will have to retreat. iDream heading up top to try and help Soldier out. Ultimates are here for Tempo Storm. We'll see what they can do with it. They do have a full level to use these before Maelstrom gets theirs. We have Starfall, Archon, Strafe, Lightning Breath, and Maelstrom. So everything's pretty much normalized here. They might just push with these ultimates rather than grab the Dragon Knight. Just make use of these. They have an incredibly strong team fight composition. There's one tower down, and they are still a half a level away from Maelstrom getting their ultimates. I don't know if they're going to try and do anything with this. There's KO just pushing the bottom lane. Walls down here. Middle wall is almost down. Top wall is out of ammo on the bottom turret. That's actually kind of huge. Whereas we have full ammo, full health, full ammo, almost full health, and full ammo and full health for the most part on the bottom lane as well. So KO's swinging around. There's a couple of pot shots here and there. It looks like Jaina goes down on the top lane. That heavy initiation coming up. iDream trying to get out of there, but that Primal Grasp is not going to work. There's the Ravage onto Caffeine with the Maelstrom. And the stun, and this will be King Caffeine going down right there. That is the power of the ultimates. When you have those before your opponents, you can do all kinds of damage like that. Big 3-0 swing for Tempo Storm. Arthelon coming through the back right there of the fort. And they have their level 13 tier talents now and a 2-level lead on Maelstrom. We'll see what KO can do here against Sergeant Hammer. It actually is very difficult for her to do anything, especially with that napalm coming up. Although top fort going down for Tempo Storm pushes them to almost a 3-level lead now, about 2.5 at this point. And that level 13 talent tier is going to come in handy quite often. There's Biceps getting... No, he gets cleansed, but it's not enough with the sweep. And the sweep and the impaling spikes. Glaurung playing Kerrigan beautifully here, pulling off that combo every time they need it. So Uther actually did save himself with cleanse from the Lunar Flare stun. Unfortunately for him, the follow-up was just too good. So here's King Caffeine trying to make something happen up here. Mid shrine is taken. Can Dreadnought pick that up before somebody on Maelstrom can stop him? Looks like he will have a Dragon Knight, so that's our first Dragon Knight of this game at the 8-minute mark. And this mid fort might go down. It'll be kind of interesting to see how these teams group up. Looks like KO's opting to push along the bottom instead. And if we take a look at our damage and healing meter, we actually have healing is comparable between Uther and Tyrande and Tassadar and Rhaegar. There's that stage dive onto the bottom from King Caffeine, and now we have a big fight happening right here. Starfall coming out. There's the Ancestral Healing keeping King Caffeine alive, but Glaurung manages to take out just Sergeant Hammer for his troubles. Does get kind of killed right there. K1 Pro moving back a little bit. So that is a 1-for-1 trade right now. 2-for-1 now with Tyrande going down at the same time as Kerrigan. Unfortunately, the Dragon Knight is just wailing on the fort while this happens. So one kill for a fort. Probably not the smartest trade. But there's Sergeant Hammer coming back up. And we do have Lightning Breath still up. Was not used during that fight, nor was the Archon. So they can turn here and make something happen. Although in a 4-on-2 situation, that is never where you want to be with your team. There's KO coming up. Lightning Breath comes up. KO comes in. Where we get to see Strafe. It's up, but decides not to use it. And a nice disengage by Soldier and Dreadnought pushes them out. Looks like that Farsight comes up. iDream is going to be scouting this out for his team, seeing if there's something they can do. And since they didn't secure those Giants, they'll just be taking theirs as a response. I'll see which team can secure the bottom Knights now. And if Maelstrom doesn't hurry, they're going to be behind a talent tier level again coming into this. And once again, pretty standard builds across the board. Barricade from Sergeant Hammer actually is a little bit strange to see. And ETC tries to jump down there, but he's just a second too late. Soldier's now separated from his team for the most part. Biceps getting up, trying to get that storm off on Glaurung. Manages to get it off. And here's ultimates being used left and right. King Caffeine up. So Biceps goes down to Dreadnought's last auto attack there. Somebody needs to take out that healing ward before it can be used. And now we have... These Knights aren't actually doing much for Tempo Storm at the moment. Oh man, Glaurung didn't even get his Maelstrom off right there. So that stun lock on Kerrigan was actually brilliant. And you'll see the healing numbers starting to kick in now for Maelstrom. Both Uther and Rhaegar have higher level healings than the other two from Tempo Storm, than Tyrande and Tassadar. Both teams going for their Knights. King Caffeine trying to do it solo. Looks like K1 Pro is going to come down and help him out with that as well. Here's Sergeant Hammer moving forward, just pushing that lane a little bit. And everyone's ultimates coming off cooldowns here in the next 30 seconds. So I don't think we'll see any major action before that. And pretty standard builds. Vala and Kerrigan both going with the blood for blood, with the double Lunar Flare talents out of Tyrande. We'll probably see her pick up Rewind at 20. Kerrigan may also, I don't think she has Rewind at 20 anymore. So it looks like we've got a little bit of stuttering there along the server. Knights fighting Knights up on the top. And a potential fight about to break here on the bottom. Tempo Storm rotating down. K1 Pro gets separated from his team and completely blown up with that heavy initiation off of Diablo, the Shadow Charge, and the Overpower moving in. And that is going to be a second Dragon Knight for Tempo Storm. Kerrigan Glaurung over here is already in position to take it. Assuming Dreadnought grabs that bottom one. Alright, there we go. Second Dragon Knight coming out for Tempo Storm. This is exactly what they needed. They couldn't really afford to go down 2-0 in this game. Dreadnought wants that last bottom fort and will get it with that Psystorm. And the double dimensional shift talents right here makes Tassadar extremely strong. Gives him kind of the immortality build that people like to call it. He's very hard to kill with that build because he does have that ability twice. Nice barricade right there by Dunk Train. And we have the hover siege mode coming out of Dunk Train. Keeps him back right there. And lets him move this giant red circle of death around the map. Albeit a little bit slowly, but fast enough that it will cause quite a few problems. So Glaurung has about 23 seconds left to do something with this Dragon Knight. You might just see him kite back and forth. There's Arthuan taking a couple of pot shots at the turret here and there with Lunar Flare. And I think that's what Tempo Storm wanted right there. Got that tower, got a good chunk of the gate, and I think they're going to call it good and just back out now. They're level 17 to 19, so that 2-level lead they've been able to establish. There's Glaurung moving back, and with that Farsight, Maelstrom actually knows what they are planning, so this might be a bait or a stolen giant camp. We'll see what ends up happening right here. KO coming in from the side, and Maelstrom decides not to initiate. Dunk Train gets pushed back. The Lunar Flare missing, and that's probably actually why he grabbed that barricade, is because he keeps getting initiated on and needs that little bit of extra body blocking and terrain management to hide or to get away from his opponents right there. Maelstrom roaming around as 5, moving down towards the bottom shrine, trying to set a bit of a trap here. But there's, Arthuan picks the wrong bush to put the Lunar Flare in. Here's iDream separated from his team and body blocked in, but not quite. Lightning Breath gets wasted right there. Dunk Train, on the other hand, gets healed up immediately by that ancestral healing. I was going to say Dunk Train, on the other hand, goes down immediately, but that was not the case. There's KO and Arthuan killing the Water Elemental. And those spikes actually miss everyone. iDream trying to get away here. Maybe Soldier can throw him over his shoulder, make something happen. Oh, the miscommunication right there. That Lunar Flare goes off right as the Overpower goes off and ends up being completely wasted. What Tempo Storm should do, there's King Caffeine using that mosh pit to initiate and trying to separate and mess up the positioning of Tempo Storm. Dunk Train getting dunked right there by Soldier. Biceps with that nice Divine Storm, but it's not enough. It gets pulled in there into the Maelstrom by that sweeping claw, by the sweeping strike. So that was a 2-0 swing in favor of Tempo Storm. They have gone up 11-4 and 3 forts to 6 forts. And looks like they're wanting to take out the Dragon Knight immediately. Tyranda's already going for the shrine in the middle. KO going for the shrine up at the top. And taking the Knights before the Dragon Knight can come up. Very nicely done. So those will be putting pressure on a lane while Maelstrom has to respond to the Dragon Knight. Now if we take a look at our healing, you can see here the healing is starting to skyrocket from Maelstrom. Unfortunately for them, they might be too little too late at this point in the game. And if we take a look at what's going on, despite this healing being so much higher, the damage for Tempo Storm is just way, way higher. Because we have Sergeant Hammer here with the most damage on Maelstrom, and she would be 4th. I mean, she's coming here right ahead of Tyrande. So just all this extra damage that Maelstrom is able to do is really swinging this game into their favor, and they just can't keep up with it on the healing front with that double support. Jaina goes down up top to the Lightning Breath. Here's iDream taking that full duration of that almost. Arthuan manages to take out the mid fort while his team was distracting for him. And with his Blink right there, she'll just get out, no problem. Took Blink as opposed to taking that Rewind, so not too concerned with the amount of damage. She feels happy with the damage that her teammates are doing, and with her Ranger's Mark helping to buff that up. So it doesn't feel like she needs the double Lunar Flare. And we have Lightning Breath, so stronger ultimate out of Diablo, and everyone else has Blink for the most part. So that's going to be a lot of blinks around the map. And just complete Merc control coming out of Tempo Storm right here. Maelstrom is just completely on the defensive in every lane. It's all they can do to just clean these up and try and make it to the next one before they take a lot of siege damage. So here's iDream pushing forward. Arthuan and Soldier picking up some Knights right there. Even more lane pressure coming out of Tempo Storm. And I think they might back these Knights up with a top push. Is that what they're deciding to do? Looks like Arthlon going forward, taking just a couple of pot shots there at Dunk Train. Nothing major happening. Here's Soldier pushing forward, getting this catapult to push in with him. And I think they're trying to set something up here. They want to push with these Siege Giants, while these mercenaries up top move in. And we have a big old fight happening right here. So we are going to lower everything so we can see what's going on. Looks like they're being a little bit tentative, letting the Siege Giants push back and forth. But Sergeant Hammer is going to make sure that those don't get a lot of damage off. So no heavy initiation right there. Bring up our UI and our talents. And Maelstrom should have their level 20s here any second now. Both of these turrets are out of ammo, so that could come. That could be a problem a little bit later, especially with this Dragon Knight being taken here by Tempo Storm. This is the, I believe, their third Dragon Knight of the match. Take a look at that. It is the it is their fourth Dragon Knight of the match. Excuse me on that one. And what Maelstrom needs to do is they just need to hold until they can get their level 20 tier, and then maybe they can wipe Tempo Storm and get their map control back, get some of the pressure off of their lanes. And if they can't do that, I'm not really sure what they can do to win this game. If Tempo Storm plays it smart, this is definitely theirs to lose. So moving back towards the middle now, they want to try and take every keep, just increase that pressure even more. There's Arthlon just hacking away at these towers right here, stacking even more experience, although he does get a little bit separated from his team. And yeah, he's pretty separated actually. King Caffeine coming forward, trying to get that extra damage off here and there. We need maybe a punt to go off here. Caitlin Pro pushing back. There's level 20. We have Nexus Fury out of Sergeant Hammer, makes her absolutely terrifying. Divine Hurricane, Storm Shield, and a couple of Bolts of the Storm. Bolt on ETC, it's still kind of nice without Mosh Pit, but I much prefer the Blink Mosh Pit build that he can pull off. And here goes Tempo Storm falling back and taking that map control, making sure that they don't let up at all, making sure these mercenaries are moving across the board basically constantly. Here they go into these Knights here on the bottom. And these mercenaries aren't really doing that much damage. What they are doing is allowing Tempo Storm to roam around the map. Maelstrom has to deal with them. And it's basically just allowing Tempo Storm to continue this pressure up. There's just non-stop pressure coming out of their team right now. You'll see them make a beeline for this top Merc camp while Maelstrom just continues to deal with what's going on. Although surrendering that Knight camp and just going for a push down here on the bottom, maybe they could finally take a fort, even up this game a little bit. Nope, that's not going to happen, as Tempo Storm decides to bail on those Knights. Leave Diablo there to take care of them himself. There's King Caffeine taking a look in to see what's going on, realizes he's not going to be able to contest that by himself, and ends up having to back it up. So I was wondering if Maelstrom would have been better served to push here, try and take a fort. And this is going to be yet another Dragon Knight for Tempo Storm once this eventually comes up here in the next 20 seconds. And this is just a slow death happening right now for Maelstrom. Tempo Storm playing it so smart, not being super aggressive, realizing that the only way that they are going to lose this game right now is if they blow it. So as long as they don't make the mistakes, as long as they play pretty safe, they shouldn't have a problem here. Well, here's Maelstrom making a power play into the middle. At this point, both teams are fairly even. That Nexus Fury making Sergeant Hammer absolutely terrifying. Although there goes the Lunar Flare out. And here's Soldier moving in, so we might see a big fight happening here momentarily. Little Soldier is moved back. He needs to get back in here and help his team out a little bit more. There's Dunk Train. Just raining hellfire down from everywhere. There's the Napalm Strike going off. And I think Soldier wants to try and get in here and get a nice initiation on Dunk Train. Throw him over his shoulder, put him into the middle of his team, and let Glaurung just eat him alive. Just let Glaurung and KO just jump right on him. But this circle is being pushed forward. And there's not much that Tempo Storm is able to do about it. Although we do have mercenaries pushing across the top here, so... Oh man, come on, Maelstrom. Somebody needs to back up and realize what's going on. You're going to lose this fort to mercenaries. Unfortunately for them, they kind of have to sacrifice the fort, or they'll give up a Dragon Knight. So I think that is going to end up what happens. That fort will go down. And now we have a big fight happening here in the middle. So Maelstrom is hanging on by the skin of their teeth here. They do have the stronger late game composition. As you can see, just right here with Dunk Train just raining down that damage. Oh, there's a nice initiation on Dunk Train. Will we see something happen here? It comes out the Storm Shield, but Soldier comes up. Oh, not able to get his Lightning Breath off, and now we have a big fight happening. Looks like Dreadnought actually trying to pick up that Dragon Knight and needs to use his Dimensional Shift twice, heals himself up with the Prescience, and I think he will die right here. Is it on cooldown? Yes, it is. Dimensional Shift has 4 seconds left. Glaurung getting pushed back. Diablo, though, with the souls to be right back in this fight immediately, so that kill is probably the least necessary kill that Maelstrom needed to secure here. So there's Dreadnought, manages to Hearthstone Helm, heal himself up, and get back in the fight. Like I was saying, this late game composition starts to really heavily favor Maelstroms right here, so Tempo Storm needs to close out this game. Capitalize on their early game advantage that they built up. And here's Maelstrom trying to clawing back some of that map presence and a little bit of the Merc control again. Helping out, or helping themselves to a couple of Siege Giants. King Caffeine here helping himself to a Shrine. There's KO moving in with that extra damage shot, and that bolt actually ends up saving him right there. Although maybe not. King Caffeine might die right here. This could be huge if he goes down. Then, oh, he will go down right on the edge of that Lightning Breath. And Strafe probably wasn't necessary, but just to make sure that they secure that. And with the battle momentum that she has, right here, that Strafe will be up very shortly as long as she can get those attacks. There's Arthalon picking up the Dragon Knight. And with 2 heroes down, that might be it for this game. Without without their front line and without their back line, they're just kind of stuck with these 2 supports and a little bit of mediocre damage coming out of Jaina. So I don't think there's going to be anything they can do to stop this, especially with letting them just march right in here to the core. Those shields are going down immediately, and now that it's on the hull, you'll see just how quickly this core is going down. 25, 23, and 15, and that is going to be it right there. iDream trying to get a kill off on Glaurung just to make it happen. And that is going to be it. Tempo Storm ties this game up. It is now 1-1 heading into game 3 of this best of 5. So it's become a best of 3 now. And we will see you guys later.